Here we go. Let's all right. Hey gang. I have to put the seat up in a second. Welcome. I don't know who we got here. We got a couple of readers, watchers, whatever you want to call them. Put the seat up. We'll flip the camera around. Okay. Hopefully the lighting will self-adjust here. Welcome. Got a little, I think it's molasses Kentucky barrel-aged stout going over here, and a Pepsi Max. My kids love Pepsi Max. I'm a Pepsi Max fan as well. I'm not a huge soda drinker, but I will drink Pepsi Max. All right, let's see where we at. Turn number 26th of July. Allies have picked up a back-to-back turn. Allies, if you tuned in last time, you realized the Germans had keyed in on the fact that the Allies had screwed up their supply chain and were in fact going to basically be out of supply if they tried to do anything aggressive or offensive last turn. And so the Germans reoriented their line, pulled back a little bit, and kind of got reorganized to defend where they needed to versus where the enemy was. And with that action, that kind of tipped the hand to the the Allies, and they have since moved a couple of headquarters around and caused all sorts of mayhem for themselves. I had to spend and eat off the map, supply off the map to keep the entire Patton's 2nd Armored Division, which is in the mountains. I'll show you in a sec. I'm going to turn this music off because I can sort of hear it in the background, and I'm not sure if it's interfering with anything here. Let's just put the seat down a little bit, and I'll try and get oriented here so you guys can see, and I can see the comments, what's going on here. Hey, Tony, how you doing, man? Jakob, you cannot buy this game today. This is the first edition of Sicily, Triumph and Folly. If you're going to try and buy it somewhere, you go to the Multi-Man Publishing website. You can try and buy it secondhand on the web, but you're going to probably pay upwards of $150 for it, and you've got to be a real fan of the system if you want to do that. Now, there is an alternative. And we're playing it next. In fact, I'm going to play it immediately after this, if I'm man enough to. It's in the bag the wrong way. I did a little shrink rip video on this the other day and went through the magazine. There is a different version, Jakob. It's the 2nd edition. It's called Sicily 2. Now, it is not going to be 2 maps and many counters. It's just going to be 1 map, so slightly different scale, and 2 sheets of counters. And the game works. It looks like it works. I shouldn't say it works. I haven't played it. But you can absolutely buy that, and you can pick that up for $38. Where can you get that $38? There's a NWS Naval War Systems -online something.net or .com. It's a Yahoo store. That guy has great prices on the Multi-Man products. That's where you can get that. Yeah, the magazine does look great, Kyle. If you have, if you've read many of the OCS articles, I thought it was a big rehash because half of them have been written in the last 10 years. But it's pretty much a refresh. I think they've updated the articles and refined them a little bit and added a lot of graphics. So. Anyway, all right, so let's have a look at the map and see what's going on, and then we'll just try and do some stuff. I'm doing a live stream because I just finished this half of the map, and I was thinking, man, maybe I'll just kind of wrap it up because I can see what's coming. But then I thought, well, maybe I'll just do a live stream and that'll keep me motivated to keep playing. So right now, you guys are the only thing between this and it being packed up. Right, so here we go. Second Armored decided to thread its way into the mountains. And what I really don't know what I was trying to do. I think I was trying to press up this way or get to the coastline. And then as I looked in detail at the coastline, there's nothing. There are no ports here. There are no supply sources that I could use as a port. This guy can't be used up here. So it was a huge error, but it did force the Germans back, and it split the island in two. So it did achieve part of its goal. The only viable port that allows us to have supply range is Palermo, which is here, or Palermo, here. And with the headquarters suitably situated, now he can go, the headquarters, these are three hexes for one movement point because it's like a super road, tertiary road. So that means 15 hexes plus one, so somewhere around, I don't know, here, thereabouts, I can put a HQ, and then I can throw with a decent core HQ, I can throw right up the road, which will allow me to start pressuring up here. The other thing that we can do is save one of our little naval landing craft that can convert into a supply source, and we could put a supply source up here somewhere as well. So while all that was percolating, I also realized, as I mentioned earlier on, I realized that the Germans had realized that the Americans had made a mistake, and I had this nifty core that has a 14 throw range. I had him over here, kind of stuck in an area where there's not a lot of road, secondary road that we can use to get some range. And I realized that from where I was not going to be able to reach Palermo and have any combat supply. So I had to kind of back him around and bring him over to here. And in this position here, when he's flipped this turn, he will have throw range deeper into Palermo, and that'll allow all these divisions to kind of lunge into this area. Now, having said that, I took 2 divisions from here and went this way. So that has required me to do some serious spending of supply points just to reposition forces. I feel a little bit like one of the generals. I think it was the 3rd Division General. It was Truscott, Lucien Truscott. They headed off in one direction, then were told to go another, and that happened half a dozen times. Well, the 3rd Division and in fact the 9th Division here have done their fair share of going backwards and forwards around the various hills and dales. Oh, Kyle, I'll be so interested to hear what you have to say about Desert Fox Deluxe because, I'm just not buying any decision games until I get feedback from guys I trust that can play. I have not read the designer notes yet, but I had a quick skim of them and it looks pretty interesting. So, okay. All right, so let's keep going here. Now I've done the I've done the replacement roll. I have done the airstrike roll. We only get 2 airstrikes again. Last turn was 2. Last turn was 1. So I have not brought any supply onto the map yet. That's a shipping thing. We can do that later. I won't forget to do that. I have more than enough supply where I need it for the moment to get people where they need to be, other than the 2nd Armored. So I am going to need to bring supply on right now. So let's just bang 1 SP and 2 T into Licata right here, and 1 SP into the little mini port right next to it. And that will be enough to get us going. Porto Empedocle can take 1 SP, so we'll put 1 SP there as well, and it has a little mini port next to it, so that'll get 1 SP. I know you can't see any of this, and I should be showing you, but I think you know what supply counters look like by now. And if you're just tuning in for the first time and you're expecting this to be an educational exercise, then you're sadly mistaken, and you probably should leave. Because I will happily answer questions, but I'm not every time I go live like this, it's not an opportunity for a tutorial. It's me playing, so you can see how the game plays and flows versus tutorials. I suck at doing tutorials. I always make mistakes, and it's not worth your effort to watch this for a tutorial. But it is worth it, I hope, to watch some entertaining, fun gameplay. It's better than TV. There are no ads. So let's do some stuff. I was scared of the first Fallschirmjäger, and I'm not anymore. We're just going to man up here, and we're gonna take these guys on straight up. And we're going to, see, I've got 5 SP right here. We're going to fuel and move and do fun things. So this headquarters is going to flip over. And he is now going to have a throw range of 14. You can see that there, right? So we've got divisional trucks and other supply goodies here. Oops, come on, fella. Where are my tweezers when I need them? Where are my tweezers? Here they are. Here. So I'm going to fuel. I need a fuel marker, I guess. Well, let's just take it. Let's take an SP from this big stack here, actually, and put this on top of it to say we've spent it, and all these guys will now be able to move. And I'm going to pop this dude up here. Actually, up here. I'm pretty confident I'm going to get the result I want here on the attack. So do I need to go to the effort of trying to surround it? And you notice that I'm actually, it's 5 movement points. I'm not going to waste my time flipping that over, so we're just going to go up the road 1. Rather than surrounding these guys and trying to isolate them, I'm trying to knock them out because they're 5 rated units, and 5 rated units are very rarely going to roll on attrition to lose a step. We're going to attack this unit here. Now this is the unit that I would gladly try and put out of commission via attrition, but because he's got these big supporting dudes here, we're not going to do that. So 1, 2, 3 units have been supplied with fuel. I'm going to bring this chappy up here and get some extra weight on this guy. 1, 2, 3 to here. I really shouldn't be leaving HQs in hexes by themselves. I'm going to pop this Ranger unit back 1, cover my core headquarters. With the 1 SP I spend for fueling here, I can move this dude. And I will move him up into the mountains so he's at least in close terrain. And we'll kind of go for it from there. And let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to spend... Now, technically, the way the rules work here, technically, with the 1 SP that I spend for these guys, this headquarters, I don't think he can actually do that. No, he can't fuel these fellas. I've got to spend separately for them. And we're not going to right now. We're going to move. I want to make sure I'm going to be in supply, and ideally it's going to come through here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm betting I'm going to win this attack here. Which will put these guys all in trace. 1, 2, 3, up to here, and these guys 1, 2, 3. Actually, we'll flip them over 3, 4, 5. That way, if they do end up being out of trace, we'll have a 5 rated unit that will help us. And we'll kind of go for it from there. Now, I've got the 45th Infantry, or 45th Division here, most of it anyway. And I need fuel and supply for that guy, and there's no way I can get a supply to him, even with this chappy here, I don't believe. So I'm going to pull a truck and race the truck down to the port. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 13, 14, 14, 14. And I'm going to grab that supply, 14, that's going to make it 19. Plus 14 is 20, 33 back up to here. Okay? 33 back up to here. And in fact, if I really wanted to, just to be safe, I could leave that truck there and they can reach still. So all these fellas here, these guys are just going to flip to their combat side and they're going to stay there. They're not going to fuel. These dudes will move forward. You're wondering, well, why did I go get the supply? I went and got the supply just in case I have trace supply issues, and I do indeed want to move these. One to here. See, there we go. This is what we're going to do. We're going to... That's a tough, potentially a tough hex to crack. Oh, I think that might be supply under there, so maybe not so tough. So this might be worth trying to attack. So let's spend 2T out of here. And that will leave me... I may have to go low ammo if I really want to do this attack with all these guys. In rough terrain, I don't believe I'm going to get any tank bonus, so is there value in bringing the tank in? There actually is not. Let's not supply those guys. Sorry for the wishy-washiness. Sometimes I'm not sure, other times I'm just uncertain. Let's see. Okay. So we'll press up on here. If I can get 2 decent airstrikes here, we may do 2 attacks. That's going to be foish. That's not going to be good. But I'm feeling bullish. I'm feeling bullish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm also feeling like I want to overstack. I'm going to move this guy 2, 3 to here. And I'm going to bring this guy up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to there. Not necessarily going to use those units in the attack, but I may use one of them to give me a better differential. Oh no, here's a good differential on the surprise roll. All right. Well, you know, this is not looking as good as I was thinking it was going to look, which is really disappointing. Where the hell are all my units? They're all stuck over in Never Never Land over here. Alright, I've got to grab fuel for the second armored trucks. They're all empty. There's one here. Where's the other one gone? Hello? I think it's already down here. So I'm going to grab this guy. Yeah, here it is here. So I've got second armored all the way down here. Truck. So he's going to load for 5. And he'll pick up a full SP of stuff, and he will we're just going to situate him back up with the second armored HQ, and that second armored HQ, I'm going to move this truck 1, 2, 3, 4, wrong way to go, 1, where's that little trail? Here it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. What a pain in the ass. 20 plus 5, 25. 25. Fuel that guy, or load that guy. 25. What did I say it was? Whatever it is, it's not enough to get all the way back, so I will put it back here. Over there. And let me see. So now if we wanted to, we could fuel second armor, and I could use one of these trucks to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm going to do that. I want to get these this armored division out of the mountains and just into a more threatening location. And that location might be here, where we can threaten to run down this road here, which would also stop reinforcing of the Fallschirmjäger, or I can threaten to come in on this angle here. And I have another move up my sleeve that we're going to talk about in a minute, and it's going to involve some dice rolling, but we'll get to that in a second. So I'm going to position half the force, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to here. Put this guy here. I'm going to pull these two guys back. I'm going to put one here, and the stronger of the two here. And I'm going to continue to stack this lot of boys, but I'm going to move them down the road to this bridge, but not all of them. I don't think all of them is a wise idea. There's 11. Let's take 10. 10. Let's take 15. We'll put these guys here. No, let's take this guy, this guy. So that's going to be 12. That's going to be 16 to here. And I'll reinforce it with that dude. And this dude. We'll go 1, 1.5. I've got to be careful here for my throw range. I think I can only go to there probably. We'll move these guys back to here and they'll stage and they can go both ways then. Does that make sense? I don't know if it makes sense or not, but that's what I'm thinking right now. This guy's moved, that guy's moved, they've all moved. Most of the headquarters have a unit with them to keep them protected. Yep. 3rd Division truck. Okay. All right. So that's the movement, I think, for this half of the board, and we'll do the British, the English later. Although I'm going to move some British units right now. Last turn was the last turn or the turn before the 76th, I think it is. I'm gonna freak me out. Okay, let's not do that again. So now why is my screen not focusing? There we go. All right, these guys in here, the 76th. No, that's not them. Yeah, 78th Infantry Division arrived as reinforcements. And what I want to be able to do here is, whilst it's ahistorical, it solves the problem for me, and there's no rules against it. 78th is going to be used to land, and I'm going to land them in and around the Palermo area. And we're just going to do that because I don't see the point in trying to pull American units back and then bring them out into the floating forces box, then cycle them around. It's going to take 5 extra turns. I've got reinforcements. I can put them into the floating forces box, and I can run those suckers around the map here through this little staging area, and we can go through the landing exercise. And I can either do that offline. If you guys don't want to see that, that's fine. But regardless, it'll allow us to put some pressure on Palermo. Now, last turn, what I did do with the naval forces that are here, I fired at and destroyed a coastal battery, and did even just the act, I believe, of firing at these coastal forces and the various, the various formations. They have to make a roll to see whether they surrender. So basically all the units with a yellow stripe, how ignoble is that? All the units with a yellow stripe on them, and belonging to certain formations, have to roll. And you only roll once, but then the whole formation surrenders. So it becomes very powerful. And I rolled a 3 and a 2, and so all the units that were here have been removed from the map, and they are all surrender monkeys. So this entire section here is now unguarded, and this section here has basically two static units defending the port, and 2 artillery units and a couple of wannabe airplanes, and that's it, and some supply. So it's a big blindside for the Germans, but it's something they have to deal with. So now there's just the first Fallschirmjäger, and that's why, for the sake of expediency in terms of victory conditions and moving the game along, we're going to bring the 78th in here, and that may be ahistorical and all the rest of it, but you're just going to have to deal with it. The Arizona Marine is here, Richtig, FGM is here, good to see you guys. Welcome, welcome. So we're just about. Oh, my camera is feeling very unstable today, and I straightened and tightened the legs. Maybe. Oops, sorry guys. Maybe that's part of the problem. I'll. Yeah, let me straighten it up a little bit, and then I'll zoom in here, and we'll use the zoom feature instead of the angle. Okay, so we're still in the move phase, and I think I said it was for the new folks that have arrived, it's the 26th. Allies have got it back to back, and they're trying to make the most of it. The first thing they're going to do is pop out into, they're going to start moving these, the 78th, which starts right here, and I'm just going to grab one unit and we'll use it to denote where everything is. They have to come in on this hex right here, and they move, I think it's 10 movement points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is where all of these forces are, is right here. And you can see there's no coastal batteries we need to worry about anymore. And they're going to come around here and do some heavy landing at some point in the very near future. And that should pretty much wrap up the supply situation for. Oh, here comes the Amazon delivery truck. Please come and see me. And that'll crush first Pulse Omega. There's no way they'll be able to supply themselves for more than a couple of turns, so we can just choke them out without having to fight too hard. Which, as we're speaking, this makes the idea of, where is it here, executing these attacks at a fairly risky ratio here, potentially not worth it, because in 2 turns or 3 turns we're going to have these guys all surrounded. So I don't know if I want to do that or not. So we're gonna think about that for a second. We're gonna try and get we've got second armored approaching down the coastal road. Okay, so let's do this. Let's see where we're at in the turn cycle on this edge of the map. Oh, we can do naval barrage. So let's see. Let's. I'm gonna move these guys and run a naval barrage. And I'm actually going to be a bit of a dick, and I'm going to try and destroy facilities, supply. 2, 3, 4. So let's fire at that supply there for a start. I'll just roll 2, I think. Let's see. Ooh, that's an 11. That's going to hurt. On barrage versus facilities. Oh, we only roll 1 die, that's right. Okay, I'll re-roll. Let's re-roll that sucker. 4. 41 through 80. 1, 4. 4 is going to be aircraft, I think, and 1 is going to be... how does this work again? Barrage versus facilities. Can I hit the supply? I thought I could. Maybe I can't. Asterisks. No, it doesn't look like I can attack the supply. I thought you could do that. Okay, that's fine. Then I won't be a jerk. Hey, Kevin. What do you mean you have to catch the recorded version? You're leaving? Yeah, the Amazon truck is just parked down the bottom. We have a shared driveway. There's 3 houses that share a driveway, and he and the FedEx guy have been passing each other, but all of us are doing a little bit of work on our houses and also send and receive a lot of packages. And so the Amazon truck is new, and he doesn't really know his way around. Okay, can't do that. So if I can't do that, I will do something else then. I don't care about that guy. So let's move around here and try and beat on guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to fire at these barrage units here and the guys underneath. We might as well roll again, even though I rolled on 11. Yeah, see, that just sucks. There's a 4. Okay, I don't think that's even going to be a result. 4 is just going to be, yeah, 4 is going to be a DG. Okay, I don't think that, guys, this may not be as exciting a turn for you as normally. Well, not that they're that exciting anyway. But it's just not, we're not going to do a lot of combat this turn. All right, I'm going to try and run an air attack on this. You know what, let's do this guy. What do we got here? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've got 16 there. Before we do that, we've got to check supply, and we've got to do reserve phase and all the rest of it. And the reason why I'm in reaction phase, and the reason why I'm skipping the reaction phase is there are no units in reserve here, so there's nothing for them to do other than run air. And I guess the Germans could, if they wanted to, try and run an air assault. You know what I'm talking about. An airstrike on the naval forces that are the landing forces. They could do that. And they could also try hitting the destroyers. The destroyers are worth VPs, and they've got guys in range, and there's no patrol protection. But I just don't know. That hasn't been very successful for me in the past, and it cost me a lot in steps doing that. So I'm kind of a little wary of running those attacks at the moment. So I'm not sure there's anything to do in the reserve phase. There's no artillery near the Fallstream area, which means there's not a lot for them to do in the reaction phase, I should say. And supply-wise, I've got everybody in supply. The second, let me just check second armored. They are actually going to have to spend to be in supply. We did that last turn because that's why we wanted to move them, because they were so far away. So I'm going to shift that guy. All right. Until we clear this hex here, we're kind of in a little bit of a pickle. Until we get this hex, these two hexes cleared here, and can move the HQ up a little bit, we're in trouble. All right. So I think, as a somewhat inept turn, I'm just gonna do the air barrage for here. So let's get that out of the way. I'm kind of jumping around in the turn sequence a little bit here. Sorry about that. Okay, let's use something reasonable without being overkill. Well, I'll tell you what, I am actually going to try and carpet bomb these guys, but we won't allow any step kills. How's that? Because I think that's kind of cheesy. So we'll put B-17s on this, and we're going to roll for flak. I can't reach the die. All right, here we go. 2 dice. We're not going to do damage. That was the AA roll. Now the hit roll. 10 with the 30 plus. Yeah, you're DG'd. Where is it? Where's the DG marker? Okay, guys. Hey, welcome to the folks that have recently joined. We're just goofing around with OCS here. We're run through the Allied turn. Kyle, I am going to liberate Palermo soon, but it'll be these forces here are going to come around the horn here and land. That's the 78th Infantry, British Infantry Division, and they are going to land here. Hey, Boots. So that's kind of the plan at the moment. Seem to have some challenges focusing. I think it's just because of the. Let me change the stand again. Sorry for the shaky picture as I adjust the stand. Okay. There we go. All right. So DG here. That's good. No AA effects from the bad guys. No flak effects, so now we've got a DG that's going to halve them and drop them down 1, which will make us even Stevens on the surprise roll. And I think I said I had, what, 12, 13, 16 here to now what's going to be 2.5. 16 to 2.5 is going to be 7 to 1. Before we roll for surprise, let's roll for surprise, adding no zeros, adding nothing. I rolled an 11. You want to see it? There you go. I guess I get to roll for extra column. I rolled a 6 for the extra column. That's a pretty sweet roll. All right. That's going to hurt. Rough. Oh, wait a second. I don't have 16. You know why? Because the armor is going to be halved. So it's only a 1. Is that the only armored unit? No, there's 4. So that's 2 factors. So it's actually 12. It's 14 to 2.5. So now it's going to be, let's call that 6 to 1. 6 to 1 will be near enough. It's in close terrain, or very close. Close terrain. 6 to, what would 5 to 1 be? No, that'll be 6 to 1. So 6 to 1 in close, and I said how many? Plus 6. That's going to put us on the max table, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, it will. So let's just roll 2 dice. Roll the 3. That's not good. AO1, DL101. All right. Well, you know what? I will lose this dude, and I didn't declare it, but he's one of the highest rated units, and I always choose the weakest guy, so he will be the man that takes the punch in the chin. This guy dies, and we will take that hex. We want that hex pretty badly. And we're going to spend 4T for that, and I'm just going to drop this down to a 3 and 1. No, I'm not going to drop it down to a 3, because that would be 4T, a moron. Is that here? Well, shoot, where was the HQ? No, the HQ was back here. No, that's different HQ. Crap. Sorry, guys. Okay. Does that make sense? If it's not making sense, let me know, because it means I've probably done something wrong. I have left that supply completely unguarded, which is just fabulous. And I don't get any exploit either, so, okay. Well, you know what, we won't advance everybody. That's a smart thing to do. Let's do this. Bring these 2 guys up. All right. That'll help a little bit. Okay. I'm not going to attack here. I can wait. Well, as soon as I land in Palermo, these guys have no trace supply. They're going to have to eat off the map, and then it's just a withering. And the Fallschirmjäger are dead men. They're dead men walking right now. Oh, the reflection. Sorry. Yeah, I'm not sure how I can do much about that. I can try and put the blind down. Okay. Yeah, it's just such a bright sunny day today. There's not a whole lot I can do. Let me see if I can get the little cable for the blind. And watch me knock the board and knock the camera over. Can he do it? It's like a freaking episode from Bob the Builder, I swear. That probably makes no difference, huh? How's that? Is that a little bit better? Oh, I see. Thanks, thanks, Arizona. All right, maybe that's a little easier to see now. So let's just kind of keep going here and wrap up on the U.S. side of the equation. So we did that combat. There's no exploit. There's no cleanup to speak of per se. I have left some units in somewhat tricky circumstances. This guy looks like he's got bumped. We had a lady come and help us do some cleaning, and this was a big mess. All my aircraft were knocked all over the place on the top of the map. I don't recall. I wouldn't have left this guy here because he'd be out of supply. I think he was. Well, I'm going to pop him back here. That makes sense, I think. Okay, so We brought supply in for these guys, for the Americans. We have moved the Americans. We pay for supply for these guys for trace because they're out of trace because I'm a moron. Even with the ability to throw forward, I'm not going to make it with them. I needed to have moved my second armored HQ. So that would take us over to the British, and there's probably a little bit more activity over there. I might jump in on that a little bit later this afternoon, unless you guys are real keen to see me play that right now. I'm happy to. I'm happy to kind of either end it here or keep going, depending on what you're interested in. I don't know how many people are here. I can't really tell. So not that the number of people matters. I don't want to bore the crap out of you guys. Some turns in OCS, there's just not a lot happening. Let's see if there's something exciting we can do over here to make our days all more entertaining. All right, British had a great turn last turn. I'm just going to flip these guys. Well, I guess I don't need to just yet. So we DG'd a bunch of dudes over here. We caused some general mayhem and pain, and we punched across the Primasol Bridge and into Catania. And what I really want to do, you know what? Yes. We might be able to end this game. We might be able to end this game, or at least come close to it. Let's do this. Let's punch as much supply forward as we can. Where have I got it? It's mostly here. I can reach this shit. All right, here we go. Here we go. It's in this DG stack. Well, okay, the first thing we're going to do, are there any reserve units? There are not. I'm going to try and DG that dude here with my, well, we'll do that in a minute. Let's move first. I'm going to ignore these people here. And we're going to push strong units up. So there's 6. That's just a... well, that's a pretty big stack of guys. But this is not so big. I know that's where the tigers are underneath here. All right. But I'm going for it. Here we go. 6, 12. 12. I'm going to bring this dude in with his 5 rate. That's 14. And I'm going to move this guy here to keep the hex clear. No negated. And yeah, okay. I'm just going to go, I'm going to pile on here. How many factors can I do? What's the max again? Stacking limit is some amount of read. I think it's a bunch. It's been so long since I've actually had to even think about what the stacking limit is, because you just don't normally do this. But we are going for 10 reads. So we can just get crazy. Just got too much crap on this table. Okay. So that's going to be, let's do this guy to one side. That's 6, 12, 18, 24, 36, 40, 40. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6.5 re. Okay. 40 to there. What is the terrain here? Can I overrun in that terrain? Let's see before I go doing this attack. It's hills. ×2, it's close. And it's only 2 movement points to do that. I could try and overrun this first. So let's double our chances. Where's the... I said that was 42, right? So let's make a note here, 42. Okay. And now, let's, where's my armor? 6 here, I haven't got a stack, dang it. That would be 12. Oh no, it won't be because they're both armored, even though they're DG'd. So I won't be able to overrun it. Okay, well, alright, okay. Okay. Let's see if we can't do this. I'm going to need to reinforce that hex. 1, 2, 3 to there. I'm going to need to move the camera, guys. I'm sorry. You're going to have to deal with a different perspective. I can't reach anything. So, 1, 2. 2. That's actually 3 to there. Yeah. I'm going to grab a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to grab a T from here. Do I have the ability to make that happen quickly? That's going to be a 3T and a 1T. No, it's not. It's going to be a 1 and a 3 sharp. Wake up. Okay. 1 and a 3. Put that back. My dog is barking like an asshole at the moment. I'm going to move this. I'm going to fuel this dude. I'm going to move him to here. And then these guys, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 to there. And these guys go 1, 2. Actually, I'm just going to. I want to keep the line pretty solid here. I don't want any mistakes. Probably a little more cautious than I need to be. What we're going to do here is we're going to attack this hex, hopefully be successful with a massive attack, and then punch that out, get an exploit move with these guys, and if we can block supply, if we can get into these 2 hexes, I could potentially try and do an overrun in that hex. Let's see, it's 2 movement points. I could even overrun with infantry in that hex, potentially. But if I put armor into reserve, we can do that too. So we'll do all that in a second, but here we go. So if we can knock that out, this could potentially put all these guys out of supply, and they're going to be in a world of hurt then. And then it's pretty much game over. Now what do I got here? Okay, so these guys here, these guys are going to go into reserve. We're going to grab a reserve marker. I'm going to spend a full SP, take the rest of that SP, and fuel all of the where are the fuel markers? The Canadians, if they need it. And I think that's that's going to go there. And I'm going to move these guys a quarter of their movement, and I'm just going to push them up as close as we can get. And they're fueled and ready to go. I'm going to fuel this dude here. I'm going to flip him over and put him in reserve. Oh, here's how we do this. This is how we get around the stacking. I'm going to fuel that guy, and I'm going to fuel that guy, and move them a quarter and put them into their stack. And I'm going to take 2T, there's some supply right here. I'm just going to flip, there's 2T, perfect. Okay, that's those 2 guys in a stack. Let's see if I can find some more armor floating around here that I could use. No. What about angry men in trucks? I think I've taken all the good shit up front. I could have used that guy, but that's okay. We've already moved him, so let's not go reinvent the wheel. We'll move this guy 1, 2, 3 up to here. These guys will get up to here. They can stay where they are. Ooh. 1, 2, 3. We'll leave these guys here for now. Just move them up one. Okay. All right. I think we got the makings of a plan here. That guy. I'm going to do that to him. I'm going to take my Canadian truck back down to the port and hang out to get some fuel and stuff. In fact, he could just use this guy here, so he'll flip and move full, and we'll move him up to here, and I'll take an SP out of the stack here. All right. Now, there's nothing I can do to DG that, and I can try and DG that hex. So we're going to do that with my somewhat battered Royal Navy. I want to DG that hex and kill the zone of control there. 1, 2, 3. So we're going to do that with 30. No, that's 12, 24 factors. Let's put 36 factors on that mother, and I'm going to just put 12 factors on that guy. So let's do 36 factors. Let's roll for this barrage, and I'm going to have a second look at my move. So I reserve the right to change my mind. And I should have frickin' declared what was what. Sorry, let me start again. Where's my standard dice I always use? Okay, black and red are the dice for the hit, and the purple is the one for the damage, and it's a DG. So let's put a DG on that little sucker here. Okay. Now I'm going to put 12 on this dude because there's a unit underneath it that we want to hit. So I'm going to grab these same guys again. And that is not as good, but good enough, because a 9 on a 12 will do it. 1 re in size, no size adjustment. Did I have a size adjustment here? You know what I did, didn't I? Because it's a battalion. What did I say it was? 6, 12, 18. So it's going to pop down on the 18. I'm rolling 11, though. That's going to be fine, right? Am I talking to myself? Are you guys answering me? I am talking to myself, aren't I? So it's fine. It's ooh, you know what? An 11 on the 8. That's a 1, 2, and I rolled a 5. Technically, this guy died. Oh well. That's pretty impressive. I don't like barraging units out of existence, but that guy technically would be dead. Okay, well, we've done our move. I'm not going to take that guy off the board, just because. Danny, you have a birthmark on your butt? Well, thanks for sharing. All right. Okay, so I'm going to run this attack here. So first of all, technically, I've got some other ash and trash that I want to move around, and there's some divisional trucks that need to kind of push some stuff up to the edge of the map. I'm going to fix most of that stuff later. We need to check supply. All these guys are in supply because we have this port, and this guy can throw to here pretty easily, and we've negated all the enemy zones of control either by DGing them or surrounding them. So we're in good shape. I'm not concerned about trying to... I didn't pay for these two dudes here, did I? I need to do that. Maybe I did. I think I did. Regardless, we'll take those off there, and I owe myself 1T. Now, I've got to see if I've got enough supply out of that stack there and over there. Actually, it's all going to be from the one place, so that might be the only mitigating factor on how many factors we put in here. Now, it is the Germans' reaction phase. They have no stuff in reserve, and artillery's got to be in reserve to fight. I could try and attack that. And I'm actually going to try and do that. I'm going to attack it with air. I'm going to try and attack this with air. I'm going to bring its all guns blazing because the Germans realize that they are in dire straits. They're bringing the machine. They're bringing the Junker 88s, or the Junker 88s, as some people like to say, and a Heine. That's 4 units. They're actually going to bring 3 of those. Do I have I have a chap that can escort them, so they're coming to. We're just going to put this guy here. Can you see that there? And I'm going to bring one of my fighters from up here, my Misha Schmitz. Well, of course, these dudes are going to now. Here's what we could have done in a more deliberate thinking man's game. I could have sent out patrols and swept these airfields all the way up there and probably forced some of those guys to go inactive. But I tell you what, we're feeling lucky today. We're going to intercept, okay? So we're going to go through and it's a straight up interception, 0 versus 0, so it's a straight roll. And they get lucky and roll an 8. If you can see that or not, there's an 8. So the British roll an 8, and that is going to be defender aborts, I believe, if I can find the table, just to confirm it. I'm going to hold the camera with one hand because I'm kind of concerned at all. Great, there goes a piece of paper. Yeah, defender aborts. All right, so now the defender aborts. He's got to go back to base, and he becomes inactive. We're going to put him to one side over there. These guys never really now have to put up a second guy to play, and they'll put up a weak unit. These guys are going to get to fire at those guys with a +3 this time. And this time, they roll a 9 and a 6, and that means that that's going to be reduced. Now, do we keep going? We can either keep going or we can choose to abort, and we're going to keep going. The Germans are not going to give up on this. They want to get through. So we roll again, and this time it's another 8, but it's a 1, no loss. So that dude is going to, that guy aborts as well. So they both abort. Now we're left with, got a comment here. Hey, well listen, Tony, buddy. I'm not talking to myself. I'm talking to you guys. As far as you know. Last attack. Okay. 4 plus 3 is 7. 7, both abort. All right. Well, unfortunately, this guy has done his job. He's forced the German air attack to abort. That was very expensive for the Germans. This attack is still going to go in. That would be the end of the reaction phase now. And that's my understanding of how the air game works. And if you don't like it, then you can let me know in the comments and we'll work it out from there. I got to go turn the air conditioner back on. I'll be 30 seconds and then we'll run this combat. Okay. Pick this piece of paper up. Okay, so now we're going to do this combat real quickly. You know, sometimes when I see people join and then they watch for a few minutes, I can't tell who comes and goes, but it makes me wonder whether or not I'm actually playing correctly. But I think I'm doing most of this okay. So let's zoom in here and let's have a look at this combat and see what the heck happens. I'm going to get rid of this. This is from last time we did this. Is this stuff toxic? Does it matter if I lick my finger? I don't think it does. Who cares? There we go. All right. Gonna die anyway, right? Sip of beer. Okay. I said I had 42 factors in there. And in fact, I wrote it down. Look at me. Smart guy. Okay. Let's see what we got here. I know it's 6. Yep, so that's going to be 3, and the AR is going to be 4 because this guy has a 5. Unless I choose to use these. You know what? I am actually going to use these, and I want to try and save my tigers just because. So we're going to use a 4, which is going to drop the AR down to a 3 with a defense factor of 3. 42 to 3. Last time I checked was at least 10 to 1. And now we're going to roll with a +2 on the surprise table. And I rolled 12 and 5. I can't believe it. Look at that. Where can I put this so you can see it? The 5 is the shift. So, doesn't matter. 10 to 1 in the hills. Is hills close? I don't think it is. It is. 10 to 1 in the close. That's going to max our odds out. So now we just roll plus 2. 2d6 plus 2. And I roll a 5, which is kind of a shitty roll. Plus 2 is 7. But nevertheless, good enough for us to get that exploit we wanted. It's an AE3, even though this says 2. We're not going to worry about it. We know that we can do the exploit with a 3, because we'll remember that. What did I say it was? 5, 7. Oh, DL2, so I'll lose both of them anyway. Shit. All right, well, that sucked the donkey's backside. So 2 units down. That's 2 of the Hermann Göring, and the Tigers are out of the game. I don't think we can replace the Tigers either. Oh, actually, we can. They don't have a yellow circle on them. Okay, so that's very groovy. Now, exploit. So everybody gets to advance into the hex. Everybody gets the little exploit marker, and this is going to be a death knell for the Germans, and this is why you don't defend this way. I still have not worked out how to defend properly here. Now, really, if I had enough units here, I probably would have had the second line would have been a second line behind here with just smaller units would have been more appropriate. That's where I really suck at defense. I don't know. Hey Joe, that's a really good question. There are many smaller scenarios. So there are scenarios that are 1 turn long, just to kind of get you into the groove of things. There are scenarios that are 3, 4, 5 turns long. So I would say a turn, if we're looking at this map, let me show you the big picture. If we're looking at this, there's 2 maps, and there's probably 200 counters on the map, I guess. It takes me about an hour to do a turn. It takes me longer to do it when I do it this way, because I'm making sure the camera doesn't tip over. I double check a few things most of the time. I probably do less thinking about the tactics than I would normally, because I want to kind of keep you guys mildly entertained as part of the experience, so that you can kind of see how the game flows. So I would say, in general, for a game this size, I think it should take a knowledgeable player 30 to 45 minutes to run his turn, and then the same for the opposing player, depending on how much you got to do. The Germans don't have a lot to do. This is it for them. This is it now, pretty much. They got a few dinky guys over here trying to hang out, and then they're completely screwed over on this side of the map. There's not a whole lot they're going to be doing over there. So, does that answer your question? Now, a bigger game. What are you drinking, Rick Dick? The bigger game is going to, a Case Blue or Guderian's Blitzkrieg, where you've got 500 counters each. That's going to take you at least an hour and a half a turn. And a campaign game in this particular scale, this is 2 days a turn. You're looking at if that's the same with Case Blue, which I think it is, 2 days for a turn. You're looking at some hours when you're trying to crank through 150 turns, right? That said, DAC plays super fast. DAC, which I think if you were going to go get a monster game in the OCS system, go buy DAC version 1, download all the modified charts and updated bits and pieces, and get that game. You can probably get it for $90 if you haggle hard, maybe $100. It is well worth it. Versus DAC 2, same game, updated charts, still has mistakes in it. Updated charts, some updated rules and bits and pieces. You can use the updated rules and everything with DAC 1. You're going to pay $200 plus for that game. And it's basically the same game. Even the counters are the same, I believe. There might be some minor differences. Okay. And that game is fantastic because you can play scenarios that are only 2 maps big, and there's only 100 counters on the map at any one time. It's awesome. There is a little bit of fiddling around, shuttling supply all the way from Benghazi or wherever, but yeah, that's the price you pay for having an awesome time. Okay, so we've done this. I get to. I'm really tempted to fire more artillery, more armor. I'm gonna fire these guys in my combat phase, just cause. And I want to if I get DG them, that's gonna stop them from trying to get away. And they're the only units that could probably go low ammo and try and cause me trouble. 6. That's gonna be good enough for DG, but not good enough to do any damage. So we'll put a DG on those little bastards there, and. That, what did I say that was? That was the end of the combat phase. I don't believe I want to do any other combat. And here comes my wife driving home. $100, she says, come and help me carry groceries. Combat phase. Barrow segment, combat segment, exploitation. That's what we're talking about. And don't forget, we've also got our reserve here. So we're going to exploit first up. Let's use our armor here to exploit. That's in reserve. Can you get them together? I've got 6 factors of armor here, and I am going to, was here, right? I'm going to go 1 1/3, 2, 3, 4, boom, 4 to there. I'm going to overrun that stack with 12 factors. So that's the first thing we're going to do. I'm going to overrun there. All right. There's another comment. What are you saying now? You're just being jolly, guys. All right. Okay, 12 factors. So we're coming in. 12 factors. I'm just going to roll the dice. We'll work this out. Let's do everybody's DG'd so I can get supply. I can throw supply from HQ. 1. Yes. So we're doing surprise, and I have a 3, and they have a 7. So now I'm going to have to look it up, because if it's not surprise, then this is going to be ugly. The rating, I think it's a 2 for the headquarters. I believe it's a 2, so that's a +1 that makes it 8. And 8 is not going to be good enough to get me surprise, but it might be good enough. Well, it's not good enough to get surprise. So I've got 5 plus 1.5 is 6.5. So it's going to be 1.5, basically 1.5 to 1 in the little village. That's going to make it close. So it's 1 to 1 and no odds change. Why am I doing that attack? Because I want to kill that HQ. And I'm adding 1 to this die roll. And you motherfucker, god damn it. I roll a frickin' 2. Well, that's going to suck dick. Okay. Alright, well, so much for the quick game. These 2 guys die. We got an AL2. I'm going to check that. I'm going to check the AR rating on HQs and make sure it's not a 1. Does anyone know what the AR rating is in combat mode for an HQ? If you do, say something, because I'm angry right now. HQ, specialized. Here we go. HQs and modes. Combat mode, blah blah. Defense strength of combat. Oh, action rating is 0. Oh, so it's a +3. Does that help? On the supply roll, on the surprise roll, I said it was a 2 on the surprise roll, so that was going to be. What did I roll? I rolled a 7, right? 8, 9. I still don't get surprise, I don't think. Okay. I've screwed up here. So let's think about it for 1 second. I said I rolled a 7 plus 1 made it an 8, and an 8 wasn't good enough for surprise on the overrun. So I rolled a 7, I get plus 3, that's a 10, and a 10 is good enough. That's going to get me surprise, and that surprise roll, what was it? Was it 4 or 6? I want to say it was 4. So 1 to 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it pops us up to 6 to 1, and I rolled it. This is still a horrible roll. And I rolled a what? A 2 plus the 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Well, at least that gets us out of losing 2. It was going to be an AL2 result. It's now an AO1, DO1. I'm going to take the loss so that they have to take the loss and retreat. And they, of course, will use this guy. Yeah, you know what? No, I'm sorry. We could use this guy's AR rating of 1, not 0. So it is going to be no surprise, and it is going to be 2 battalions of tanks die. That's what it is. That is just sucky. All right, you gotta love the dice. Not to be outdone, I'm going again. And I got to spend 2T for that. I'll keep track of that. I'm coming in with 12 more factors here. I'm going to bring these guys in. Here we go. Yeah, I say tally ho, chaps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're coming again. 5 MP. Okay, 5 MP to there. It's 4 MP to there. Plus 3 is 8 MP. Okay. Actually, if I stay on, no, that's fine. Let's roll for surprise, and this time it's a plus 3 to the surprise roll, and this time, you son of a bitch, I roll 7, plus 3 is 10, and I get 4 shifts, and now you have a defensive 5, and I'm attacking with, oh, stop. I'm attacking with 12. 5. It's 2 to 1 plus 4 in close. 2 to 1 plus 1, 2, 3, 4. 8 to 1. 8 to 1. I'm going to roll 2 dice. I'm going to add 3 to it. And I roll 7 plus 3 is 10. What did I say? 8 to 1. That's an AE4DL1. Okay, so that's it. You're done. So we get that guy. Okay, so that big honkin', their best HQ. 14th, is it 14th Panzer? Yeah, 14th Panzer HQ. Oh, this has got this guy here. Okay, well, I'm sorry, guys. AO, what is it? DO1D. What more? 7 plus 3 is 10. AE4DL1. So this guy dies, and this guy has to retreat. 1, 2. He has to retreat 2. And this guy stays here. Let's see, a 10. I do have to take my option though, so I'm going to lose another company. But I knock that HQ out of the way, and I occupy that hex. Now I'm going to do my exploit move. Oh, this is painful. Getting this right is painful. Exploit phase. I think exploit phase guys do not get their full movement, it's partial. So we're just going to scooch up 1, 2 to there. These guys are just going to move 1 to here. We just want to bog up the supply lines for the Germans. And these guys will go 1 to here. And these guys go 1, 2 to here. Maybe I'll go 1, 2 there. Yeah, they're not going to have the ability to get to that. You know, they can get to this, so let's do that. All right. Okay, now I got to pay for those. I got to pay for those attacks. So let's pay for those attacks. That's going to be a full SP twice, 2T twice. That's a full SP. All right, so let's have a look at that. Did everyone kind of follow what happened? I know I went around and around in circles on the HQ there. No, 10 is, Oh, you're right, it's 9. God, I'm looking at the regular attack table. Nice job, Richter. Good pickup. All right. I guess I could rewatch the video and work it out, but I really don't care. I think we would have killed that unit, that HQ, is what I'm thinking. But you make a mistake, you live with it. It is what it is. What we've done here is pretty valuable anyway. It's just a cluster on my part. That's all. So we've broken through. You know what? We're gonna drop a guy here, so we can keep those guys in supply as part of the exploit move. So what we've done here is, let me just bring this guy back one as well. Back to there. What we've done here, he said for the third time, and not saying anything, is bounce the HQ out. This unit, while he's in move mode, so he's not going to have a zone of control here. These guys do have a zone of control, and that is going to basically block the ability for this supply to be thrown forward to put these guys into trace. Trying to go back this way, there is a main road here, but here's the HQ, right? So that HQ is going to have to move over to here somewhere and try and help put people in supply. So what we've done now, instead of having the Germans trying to look for local counterattacks that they can run, or reinforce the line or whatever, now they're scrambling to get back into supply. So in the end of the day, it's a good thing for them. As I'm looking at this, I think we're getting real close to the point where we're going to have to say that the Germans are in a pretty shitty and untenable position, and I'm not sure they're going to get very many forces off the map, which, don't forget, that's the goal, right? The goal is that they have to be running forces back up this way. Now, as I've said in the very first video, when I started playing this on and off live, I wasn't going to be the guy that was just going to immediately abandon the beaches and the front lines here and all the river lines and just go stack up 4 deep here and then exit off and call it a victory for the Germans. I couldn't be bothered doing that. That doesn't seem like much of a game to me. And if that's how you play, that's cool. Competitively, I suppose that'd be super duper, right? But it's kind of a dick move. So I decided we're just going to do this and we're going to fight the battles out and kind of see what happened. I'm kind of glad I did. This was interesting little set of combats. That was a very expensive couple of attacks we had to run there. But the British, went Monty style. They piled in several brigades into one area, masked their fire, used the naval combat here to punch through the line, and that has now left the Germans in disarray, and they're going to need to work out how they extricate themselves from that. And that is probably an opportunity for another video at another time. I'm probably going to wrap it up here. I'm going to have a look at this and maybe play out a turn solo, by myself without any video, and just see what happens, see whether it's worthwhile continuing. This is a big breakthrough. Basically, I've got a whole Canadian division here that I can flip to move mode and start trying to punch through here. Even with the Germans trying to pull back. That's not a road. I don't know what that is, actually. Is that a road or it's a trail? Is it really a trail? I don't know what that is. But I don't think it's something that we can use to get the hell out of Dodge. No, it's not a trail. It's just a coastal deployment zone. That's right. They're the zones for setup. So there's no way to get back here. The only way I can get back is this way or this way. So they're really in a shit pickle. And if you were watching earlier on, first Fallschirmjäger is in similar straits over here, right? So, all right, gentlemen, I really appreciate you all tuning in and watching, and